Postpone star question number 1.
Speaker, sir.
1 minute, one at a time.
Speaker, sir, I would like to make the following correction. LAQ number 14C, clause number 6. Grants of rupees 67 crores have been received so far, instead of rupees 92 crores.
Mr. Alex Sikora, you want to?
Speaker, sir, under Rule 49 sub 2 of Rules of Procedure and Conduct of Business of the Goa Legislative Assembly, I hereby seek the postponement of postponed unstarred LAQ number 16 to the next assembly session, as it is voluminous and involves page-to-page compilation of more than 1,000 pages.
Honorable member, I would like to request the Chief Minister that these questions which were asked in the last assembly, now the assembly got over in the beginning of August. We are now in the month of October, huh? April. So, no, please sit down. Let me mention here, either bring it to the notice if it is voluminous, and because there are rules on which we are guided. If it is voluminous, please inform me. Otherwise, bring it to my notice. Your office should do that to guide you, rather than just go on postponing questions. Huh?
We tell them if it is voluminous, you curtail it and give it to me only up to that extent. I have been very clear. I have at least 5-6 times this time. I have told the officer that, okay, if it is big, because sometimes we don't understand how big the...
That's right.
So we have allowed them to curtail it, the content.
Not yours, it's not yours.
And on the right to information, now everything is available to every citizen. It need not be elected member. Postpone start question number 1.
4C. Speaker sir, postpone star LAQ number 4C.
Speaker sir, answer as per cyclist.
Speaker sir, LBIT जी हॉस्पिटल बांधपाक गव्हर्मेंट सोदता ताका 22 ऑक्टोबर 2009 रोजी सरकारान लेटर ऑफ इंटेंट दिले आणि हांवें गेल्या वर्सा विधानसभेन एक स्टेटमेंट केल्लो की बरोबर 1 म्हयनो पयलीं ह्या कंपनीन जेवी ज्या नांवान फॉर्म केल्या ती फॉर्म करपाचो रिजोल्युशन घेतलेलें आनी हांवें हें म्हणलेलें कोणें केलां तें म्हाका खबर ना पण तातूंत कितें तरी फिक्सिंग आसा तेन्ना म्हणलेलें हांव अजुनूय म्हणटा की म्हजे डॉक्युमेंट आसा वीच प्रूव्स दॅट दे हॅड टेकन रिजोल्युशन 1 month in advance before they got the letter of intent. हांव ताजेर वचना, हांव फुडें वता हांगा. स्पीकर सर, टुडे द रिप्लाय इज व्हेरी क्लियर. And can minister tell me whether there are some rules and regulation for any department to function, and whether his department is functioning under those rules?
Speaker sir, I don't know about the allegation of Honorable Leader of Opposition, what he is trying to say about forming a JV in advance. Whatever he wants, there are appropriate agencies where he can forward the documents for investigation. But definitely, every aspect of this particular PPP or whatever project we wanted to put into interest to the state or people of Goa, only interest here was that people who are going for Mediclaim outside the state of Goa should not go out but get benefit within the state of Goa. What he says, is there any specific rule separately for the health department? No.
No.
There is no separate rule, but what he wants to bring it to my notice if there is anything particular or if there is some procedural error. If you ask me a question, I'll tell you how I've corrected it.
No, there is what is called as business rules. There are business rules, Speaker sir. आणि त्या business रुलाचेर जी गजाल हांगा सुप्रीम कोर्टान MRF लिमिटेड वर्सीस मनोहर पर्रीकार हातून म्हणलेलें आसा की रूल 7.2 of the business rule requires the concurrence of finance department as a condition precedent. जी आमची पॉवर स्कॅम म्हणून जो प्रकरण गाजला तातूंत भितर तांच्यांनी फुडें म्हणलेलें आहा फ्रॉम अ कंबायंड रिडींग ऑफ द प्रोविजन्स ऑफ रूल 7, 3 and 6 ऑफ बिजनेस रूल्स ऑफ गव्हर्मेंट ऑफ गोवा हे सुप्रीम कोर्टाचें डिसिजन हांव वाचता एंड आय एम रिडींग इट फ्रॉम द जजमेंट ऑफ द बॉम्बे हायकोर्ट in the matter of Mapsa Hospital. Conclusion would be irresistible that any proposal which is likely to be converted into decision of the state government involving expenditure or abandonment of revenue for which there is no provision made in the Appropriation Act or an issue which involves concession or otherwise has a financial implication on the state is required to be processed only after the concurrence of finance department and cannot be finalized merely at the level of minister in charge.
That means you want to know whether concurrence of finance department.
I know what point honorable leader of opposition wants to make.
प्रश्न काबार करू ना. I read this because I wanted to point out it is not only business rule that apex court has also made it very clear time and again and high court has repeated it. And here I am getting a reply, sir, in respect of selection of Elbit Hospital as PPP operator, prior approval of PPP cell and concurrence of finance department was not obtained.
Speaker, sir, what honorable leader of opposition is trying.
म्हाका इतलेच प्रश्न करपाचो की does it whether the minister is aware that this makes that particular decision illegal?
I don't. What he is trying to raise is correct. If there is a procedural error. Sometimes some procedural errors occur. What he is trying to say, I'll come to the point straight away. Each and every aspect of LBIT was approved by the cabinet. Prior LBIT comes secondary, but starting of this setup was right before I became a minister. Cabinet approval was initially given for 4,000 square meters of land to set up this particular facility in Goa Medical College premises. Subsequent to that, after discussing with the then Chief Secretary, we decided that we should go with the agency then selected called III. I was not involved with the selection of the agency.
That is correct.
Now, I'll just give it then. If you still have, I'll tell you also where the flaw is and how it has been corrected.
Reply your question.
As per the discussion with the then consultant, IDFC, which is also has investment from Government of India, we thought to go with that agency in the interest of the state. Every decision taken was taken by the committee. Expression, RFP, everything was floated after prior approval of the cabinet. Subsequently, when they didn't get response, they came up with certain suggestions. That also has got the approval of the cabinet. Then the opening of the technical bid and so on, the whole thing goes on. Before we came to the end, there was a process carried out. They formed some single bid system and there were two players selected. One was Elbit, one was Fortis. And the recommendation given by the consultant to the government was Elbit should be selected because that lease rent, whatever was the higher that they had quoted. What Honorable Leader of Opposition is trying to say is that it was not letter of intent. It was letter of award. That's why it is also a matter of concern. I only want to bring it to his notice. Letter of award was given without the approval or without sending it to finance. So there was a committee with the Chief Secretary, Secretary Health and others. The matter was sent back to the Finance Department. Law Department concurrence also was taken. Suggestions made by them, each and every suggestion made by them before the agreement was vetted and signed with that party was incorporated in the agreement in order to protect the interest of the state, and ex post facto cabinet approval for this was also taken. So there is no question, business rules, once we take ex post facto approval, this procedurally what you are saying, Tumi Jai Manta, I agree with you, it should have gone the other way. But here there was a procedural thing where it should have gone to the finance, but looking at the whole thing, I have been sitting on this and we have been discussing LBT here for the last 3 years. This particular aspect, each and every suggestion made by the finance department, the apprehensions, law departments, suggestions, conditions protecting the interests of the state have been protected in the agreement, which was vetted by the law, finance, and also has subsequent cabinet approval for each and every aspect. So this has total cabinet approval. So what you were saying is that I have explained to you that there was a procedural error where it should have gone the other way around.
I think you should have corrected this reply.
No.
No,
First
The reply is
A.
right. They did not obtain approval, and when it was,
only before giving the letter
Speaker, sir,
of award.
you will
But triple I
understand-
and every
you
other
will
aspect
understand
has
what
got
I'm
cabinet
saying in
approval.
one line. When the matter went to finance, after the award was, once you give an award, the issue is closed. It is only question of signing agreements. You have already told the party that you have been selected and you are required to sign the documents. That was the only thing which was left. So when document was being signed, that time it was realized that there is no concurrence of finance. And the finance department here has noted, the file has now finally come to finance department in a stage of fait accompli. These are the words. First, they have said, first, non-submission of the proposal to EFC for approval since the cost of the project is more than 5 crores. Secondly, the concurrence of FD was not obtained hereto at any stage, including approval of the cabinet. Even when the cabinet had given approval, it was only cabinet had noted and cabinet had agreed to the proposal, but they had not agreed to a specific proposal because that specific proposal had not come. It was an idea which was approved. गाडी घेवपाची कितल्या पैशाची घेवपाची ती कोणाकूच खबर ना ते फायनान्सान एप्रूव करचें पडटा आनी थर्ड इवन दो द प्रपोजल इज ऑन PPP मोड द सेम वॉज नेवर रिफर्ड टू द PPP सेल नॉर द कॉमेंट्स रिसीव्ड दे आर मेकिंग इट वेरी क्लियर that they are now considering the proposal as a fait accompli. It is a word used by finance secretary. And Speaker sir, finally, even finally, what minister said is not totally correct. They have not agreed for many things. For example, the company has not agreed for having government nominee on the board as a non-executive chairman. That was one of the condition which that committee which was formed afterward. When it was realized that there is a mess in the formulation, they formed a committee chaired by chief secretary which put up certain conditions. In that condition, one condition was 15% Goa government ato share ato 26% karung jay. This is a point which I had raised last time. There is a reason for it. Once you get 26%, you have a right to block major changes. Other 15% has no meaning. Because technically, the other party can do whatever they want afterwards. They can throw you out also virtually. Speaker sir, it is not agreed for appointing government nominee on the board of non-executive. It is not agreed regarding quantum of compensation of 200% book value. Regarding Mediclaim patient treatment, they have agreed. The company has also not agreed to the clause that in case beds are full in the hospital, patient may be referred outside. So finally, with all these notings and injury to government revenues, the matter has gone to cabinet and it is a post facto approval. Zali gazal, पैसे गेले, हे post facto approval मेळ्ळ्या. बरें हांव म्हणटा कितें एलबीटाक जालें. Health department knows that this mistake has happened in LBIT. Speaker sir, how does the same department does a mistake in case of MAPSA PPP? Here is the order of the High Court, Rule 28, after considering response 27 and 28 clause, which says that we thus are of the view that a decision to issue letter of intent and its issuance has been done in violation of Rule 7 of the business rule. This is judgment of Shalby Hospital versus Government of Goa Health Department, and this was done in 2009. This is 2011. So after 2 years, the Health Department does the same thing again, that they issue letter of intent. I court I can lay the document on the table of the house. Nothing can be we are thus of the view that a decision to issue letter of intent and its issuance has been done in violation of Rule 7 of the business rule. This is
Because,
not only this can pull government into a very serious charges. You cannot violate business rules. What is happening in power scam matter is because of single issue, and I think Honorable Speaker knows about it.